Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here, and welcome to B-Ball Breakdown. Do you like fantasy NBA? Because Draft Street's got a really cool one-day fantasy draft. It's free to join, and you can win some money. Really cool, really fun. Check it out. So let's talk about the Toronto Raptors and their offense. It's pretty good, and you know what? It was fun for me because there's a lot of horns. So, with Seth Partnow, who went through a lot of footage for me, I was able to create a breakdown and analyze what they're doing out of that set. So make sure you follow him because he's got great insight all day on Twitter. Under the guidance of General Manager Masai Ujiri, the Toronto Raptors have enjoyed a renaissance of sorts, going from a non-playoff team 6 years running to a tough club vying for the third spot in the Eastern Conference. The turnaround came when they traded Rudy Gay, triggering a seismic shift in how they attacked on offense. Before the trade, the Raptors' offensive rating ranked 19th. But if you had started tracking it since the Rudy Gay trade, they'd be ranked 9th. Overall, Synergy has them at 11th and their offensive rating is 10th. With a top 10 defense as well, they're on the precipice for being treated as a statistical serious contender. Diving into how they attack, they are very similar to a lot of teams that attack with spot-ups the most, ranking 9th. While their pick-and-roll ball handler game hovers closer to average, it's their transition game that ranks highest among all categories. The problem is, they're 23rd in pace, and rank dead last in synergy for how often they actually run. Now, let's dive into their actual sets to see how Dwane Casey has them functioning as a 5-man unit. Without question, their primary mode of attack is using horns, which makes sense since they played Jonas Valanciunas and Amir Johnson together quite a bit. A basic set they like to run is feeding the high post and cutting the point guard to the weak side for a pin down. This triggers a pinch post-like action where the high post dribble pitches, opening up good ball movement and spacing for good shots. You'll see Valanciunas almost always dive down low off of this action to get positioned either as a post-up or a cutter, and the same progression gets a drive and a dish to him. A wrinkle is when the point guard dribbles over to the wing, then feeds the high post. Same dribble pitch towards the weak side, but here the corner gets two screens to choose from. If he goes baseline, he gets another down screen and a great look at a corner three. Here's another example of the same play, with lots of misdirection to confuse the defense until the moment of truth, when Ross cuts to the short corner three for another open look. And it doesn't always end with the corner three. DeRozan can catch the pitch and turn the corner into the lane if he sees a big enough opening. There are some subtle things happening. The first ball screener can pop out on top and swing to screen. And if they get help one pass away, the point guard gets an open above the break three. They also have an interesting set where they cut Amir Johnson down to the block, run high screen and roll, and then pop Johnson back to the mid post. Gorgeous back cut by DeRozan. This action is done primarily on the left side with DeRozan in the left corner. If the back door is taken away, DeRozan can come up to the elbow for the nice catch and shoot. And yet another counter off of this is if DeRozan is defended coming off of that pitch out of the corner, he can throw the pocket pass back to Johnson for the finish at the rim. What's great about this option is that it creates so many individual opportunities for players to shine, and no one is very stationary for long, always looking to find a seam to spot up. And these guys are completely open to passing up a shot of their own if they can create an even better shot for one of their teammates. They'll go high post entry, then big to get this double screen at the box, allowing the cutter to read the defense and pop out accordingly. And if they want to post up Valanciunas, a dummy screen and roll is a diversion as the left side wing cross screens for the big man down to the box where he gets excellent position to score. They also have pretty quick hitters as well, like this hawk play with a left side pick and roll and double down screen on the weak side for Terrence Ross. And here's a beautiful counter for this if Ross is guarded. The weak side guard then gets a double staggered screen along the baseline, and DeRozan passes up a decent shot to get a better one for his big man. The Raptors also flow into high pick and rolls nicely with good perimeter spacing to open up plays for Kyle Lowry, who is their best playmaker with the ball. That said, both DeMar DeRozan and Grievous Vasquez are not far behind in their synergy efficiency ratings, giving them a pretty potent attack. So lots of real fun, clever stuff out of Horns. Who knew? Dwane Casey's got his team playing pretty well, but it's not clear if they really want the third spot, because if they get that, they're playing possibly the Heat in the second round. So keep your eye on the Pacers-Heat thing and who gets first and second, because that's going to affect how the Bulls and the Raptors end up going down to the wire, who wants that fourth spot and that third spot, depending on where the Heat end up. Because certainly they don't want to play them until the conference finals if they get that far. Well, thanks for joining us. Lots more coming up. Make sure to follow us on all the social media places. And don't forget, at B-Ball Breakdown, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You in?